What's going on, Schmodown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmodown.
Okay. Well, listen. You know why you're here.
Yes.
You know that we're going to be talking about Spectacular.
Yes.
So, if you haven't watched it, and there's any matches that you don't want spoiled, and you stick around, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Because he's about to spoil a match right fucking now. So
we're about to. Yeah.
If you haven't watched one or any of these matches, this is your first and only warning that we are absolutely going to be talking about what happens in any one of these matches at any given time.
Because I don't think we can talk about it and not like, it's like, well, if you've already made it past the first match we're talking about, probably watch the entire thing.
Yeah. So just trepidation.
Yes. This is the last and final spoiler warning we will ever give for the Schmodown.
I mean, we could tell you the winner of Sam and Dan right here, right now.
We could.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Like, if spoiler alert. So
there you go. So there's your warning. So what? Yeah.
Yes.
So,
it starts now. Spoiler warning. So any point beyond here is you're fucking on your own. So don't know what to tell you.
Yes. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmodown. I am two-time Star Wars champion Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm some piece of shit Nicki Dimalanta. I mean, I guess
do it right.
I'm also here. I'm Star Wars competitor Nicki Dimalanta. I'm here.
So massive event that happened on Saturday that we will be going over. 7 hours. That was
a lot.
The event is actually almost as long as the day it was taping. It was like almost. It was like a 10-hour day.
It was a lot.
Yeah, 8-10 hours.
I forget what time was there. Wasn't the call time like 8?
Call time was 8:30.
8:30.
And we got out of there at I don't remember, 6.
Somewhere around there.
Math.
I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long day. That's all I do remember.
I'm the opposite of Alex Damon. I'm
bad with math and bad with people.
Good with people, bad with math. Bad boy for life.
I'm bad at math, okay with people, depending on the situation. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Happy Hour, check it out.
Congratulations, Sean and Jill.
Oh, yeah. Sean and Jill got engaged. If you haven't heard, big deal for the two of them.
So it was a big weekend. Big weekend for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm tired. I feel like we've been saying that a lot lately, but I also feel like a lot has been happening lately.
Yeah, a lot has been happening. Just fair, a hurricane just blew through this.
Also, which state. As far as we're concerned, we're good.
Yeah,
we got incredibly lucky. We did not lose power. Yeah, we had branches down in our yard.
Yeah,
and that's the extent.
The coast, not so much. So if you are on the coast, either coast of Florida,
no, there's a lot of people that did not fare well. This was actually a really insane hurricane.
Yeah.
We're lucky because we're more inland. So there are a lot of people who did not fare well. So God hopes that, hope that they get the help that they need or what have you, because holy shit.
Yeah.
But as far as we're concerned, we're very lucky. We're good. And we're here, But yeah, I just feel like we've been saying that on every episode. But
there's
true.
The past month of every lots of things have been going on. It's good and bad.
Good and bad, but it's like something happens and it's like, okay, we made it through that. Okay, here's another shit you got to deal with.
Yeah.
And then once that ends, here's something else that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It just is. It's just felt like that a lot lately. So it happens.
Yes.
Life shit ebbs and flows.
But we're here to talk about the finale of the movie trivia Schmodown, which is Spectacular VII.
Yeah.
And we will be going over 3 matches today.
Yeah.
It will be the non-title matches and the team's title match. So, I think we just jump right into it.
We probably should.
We have some lengthy episodes because today we'll be going over the matches I just said. Wednesday we'll be going over our match in great detail.
Oh yeah.
Sure, everybody's gonna want to be that because we decided we wanted to dedicate one episode.
That's the episode I'll be most prepared for because this one and the other one, it's like
I didn't take notes.
No, I took notes. Yeah. The days of old, as if they were that long ago.
Yeah.
No, I took notes, but like I've said before, I don't remember everybody's records. I don't remember who everybody faced. You want that? Go somewhere else. I don't do numbers. So, I just kind of go with what I remember. And sometimes it's not a lot. But yeah, I'm very prepared for ours.
Yeah.
But the other ones, I don't know. You're going to be leading those conversations probably.
Probably not. I don't know. For Friday will be the IG and singles match. I do want to be prepared for that one because there's going to be plenty of good discussion about who's the GOAT.
I fucking can't stand those discussions, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, I want to have like, you know, accolades and resumes like stacked up against each other, just because like we'll get more thoughts, but I would like to be prepared for it because, you know, there's plenty, and if we get it wrong, people will correct us in the comments.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, we probably should have done that for Shazam. I don't know their numbers.
I'll try to bring them. I'll bring them up really quick while we
bring them up while I give you the rundown on.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the first non-title match. The first match that kicked off the entire spectacular.
Yeah, we had the ruling class, which of course consists of Whitney, the beauty Cybold, and Ty, the tyrant Lieberman. The tyrant Ty Lieberman. I could do that every time, and I feel like it sounds okay either way.
Yeah.
But the tyrant Ty Lieberman. And might I add, a thank you to Ty, but also it didn't ever actually benefit me. But there was always one piece of trivia in Star Wars that I only remembered because of Ty Lieberman.
Oh,
the Star Destroyer that was disabled at the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah, the first one that intercepts X-Wings and transport. Yeah,
because that one is called the Tyrant. So it always made me think of Ty. So that's how my brain always got there. I don't know.
Captain by Captain Lennox.
Yeah, and so I don't know. We'll talk about our study strategies, but you know, shout out to Ty because he's how I remembered that Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
it never came up for me in a match, unfortunately. But hey, it's there.
Yeah.
They went up against Who's the Boss, which is of course Mark Yodi Riley and Ben the Boss Bateman.
Yes.
Ruling class managed by Flirt and Flouse, always a joy.
Flouse.
And Who's the Boss? Gucci-san. Coming back into the game after what seems like a forever hiatus.
Yeah, this is I'd like to see. We talked about it in the past episodes of like, you know, it been a pity we didn't see because there's a lot of people that weren't at this taping and that you know their absence was felt, and like if we would have gone out and not seen Ben Bateman one more time or Mark Riley one more time
or Gucci,
yeah, it feels like we never saw him this season.
I know.
So, but thankfully, like these three, and this team was one that came out of Anarchy and ended up being really good together.
Yeah. Both
entertainment wise and trivia wise. I mean, they blew through the tournament and came really close to winning those titles.
Yeah.
You know, they lost to Shire Wolves, but you know, I'm glad we got to see this team again. Why?
Shire Wolves?
Yeah. Shire Wolves beat Who's the Boss at Spectacular.
Really?
Who's the Boss? Yeah.
While the Shire Wolves was still Rachel and Clark?
Rachel and Clark avoided Anarchy because they had the title at the time.
Wow. If you would have asked me, I would have thought they had retired before Anarchy
No. They retired after they lost the belts to Corruption.
Oh my God. See, this is why I don't lead these conversations. Because wow.
Yeah. No, because Shire Wolf's win over Who's the Boss was like, okay. Because people were like, oh, they only got it off of vacation and like they won it against a team that just formed.
Oh, wait. They won the belts after they were vacated?
Yeah. After Sam vacated the belts.
Oh, with above the line.
Above the line, and then
why did I think Shazam got it after that? Oh, I'm thinking of Bibbs after the singles belt.
Bibbs got the singles belt off of the vacation, but the Shire Wolves went up against Brianne Chandler. I forget her partner's name because she had the free for all win. She's like, I want to go for the team's title, and the number one spot that they were supposed to go up against was the Shire Wolves. So that's why they formed, or that's why they went up against each other, and that's how the Shire Wolves won off of a knockout win in the speed round. That was awesome.
Damn.
And then of course everybody's like, oh man, asterisk, blah blah blah.
Everybody's
blah,
always got some shit to say.
They got their shit talk to say,
and there are asterisks everywhere.
Yeah, but then Who's the Boss blows through the ultimate Schmodown after the whole Anarchy mix up, and then the Shire Wolves beat them, and like, yep, that's their crowning. Like that's no, there's no questioning the Shire Wolves now.
Damn.
So
I would have thought they retired prior to Anarchy, but then I think about it, and Anarchy was a while ago.
Yeah, no, I remember them like winning the team title, and then Anarchy happens. Like, thank God they won the titles and avoided the Anarchy mix-up.
Jesus,
because that Shire Wolves is one of my favorite teams to watch, just because the ladies are amazing.
Yeah,
and they first female champions, so it's like, yeah. I'm glad they were able to stay through that and retire when they did.
Yeah.
I keep putting my foot up here for the thing, and I forgot I moved it.
There used to be an ottoman under here, and then he moved it. And now the room looks oddly cleaner over here. Over there,
not so much. Not so much. Yeah, this place looks clean.
If you let me clean this room, oh baby.
I'm going to. I keep saying I'm going to, but I will.
Initiative Mommy will do it. All you gotta do is give me that green light. And then all you need to do is sit out there on a lawn chair while I say, do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? Can I throw this away?
That's the thing. Like half the things like, I could use that. And sometimes I don't. And then other times like out of nowhere, I'm like, oh, I really need this for this one project. And it ends up saving me in the end. So I hesitate to throw anything video equipment away unless I have something that can replace it.
This sounds like a hoarder to me.
No.
We've also got the attic. We gotta start using.
Yeah. Talk to any videographer or like prop makers. I was like, I'm going to keep this because it might help me in the end. And I end up using it like 5 years later. So,
well, maybe one day I will get my wish and I can clean this room the way I see fit. Because...
Schmodown. So,
oh god, yeah, we have so much Schmodown to talk about.
Yeah,
we're warming up for our post Schmodown talks when there's not Schmodown to talk about.
Which I did contact Ryan Ward. He is doing some logo swapping for us. He's reworking the Beyond logo into Rad.
Fun.
So we keep everything the same. It's just the name's gonna change. The song is gonna be the same. It's gonna look like that, but with a different title.
Sick.
So
still black and gold.
Still black and gold.
I believe.
I told he's like, so you're thinking something brand new? It's like it's basically the same logo, but just change the title. Color scheme and all is exactly the same.
Sounds like an easy job. Hopefully, I hope.
Yeah. Hopefully it's really quick.
Anyways, yes.
Yes.
Great to see. And I feel like this was our first time meeting Ty in person.
Yes.
And Whitney.
Yeah. There's a lot.
And our first time talking to Brett, not our first time being in the same room as him.
Yeah, no, we've met Brett in passing, but never really talked to him.
Yeah.
So we even when we were there, like we barely didn't really talk to him much. It's like, hey, Brett, what's up?
He was too busy dressing up in his zoot suit, you know.
Oh dang,
crazy.
we spoiled the end, but the post match interview when we'll get to it.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, if you haven't watched it, that's on you, dog.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to tell you. So. Round 1. And Ben Bateman, of course he had his big ass whiteboard. Yeah. I would have been pissed if he didn't. Round 1, Whitney and Riley missed a question about ambulance.
Yeah, it's a Netflix series by Michael Bay. I actually want to watch it because everybody's talking about the drone shots and how unnecessary they are. I want to look at it.
Boring. Ty missed a question about Les Miserables. Les Miserables.
Was that the...
Actually, I think that was the 26401 or something like that, and he put 2401 or something like that.
Yeah, that's one thing about this. That's one thing about the Schmodown. I did have a conversation with PLD and PJ about this. There's throughout every match they sprinkled
little Easter eggs,
either for fun jokes for like the Schmodown overall or for a specific competitor, and this was one of them.
Yeah,
because I from my understanding, it's an inside joke with Ben Bateman, and like. The reason they put that question in there is because of the answer.
Yeah, he was super excited to get it. It was very funny, and
so
he
there's stuff like this all over Spectacular, and that's one thing we were saying. It's like it's a celebration of the Schmodown. Yeah. This is an opportunity to give questions to specific competitors that have been waiting to do. So
we should have been more specific and thrown out some of those for our match.
Yeah.
Bateman got a perfect round, and he got the bonus. So by the end of round 1. It is 18-20 in favor of who is the boss. I would have gotten that question wrong because that's not who is the boss. Who's the boss? Round 2. Ruling class spins horror. They decided to stick with it because I don't know about Ty, but I'm pretty sure Cybele is pretty into horror. Multiple choice, one time if I'm not mistaken, and they got it right. Who's the boss goes. They spin M. Night Shyamalan. And they stick with it, and if I'm not mistaken, they got a perfect round 2. So by the end of round 2, it's now 27-30. Who's the boss? Round 3, 2-pointer for ruling class. Whitney takes it. I almost said Whitney, but he doesn't have an H in his name, so I don't think you can do that. Comic book movies. What 1980s comic book film featuring Leah Thompson had the tagline, "You will believe that a duck can talk"?
Even I know. You probably knew this one too.
I knew this one because I'm like, what other comic book movie features a duck? Howard the Duck. He got it. 3-pointer for ruling class. Martin Scorsese, well-known Marvel stan. Ty takes it. What famous actor has Martin Scorsese collaborated with the most, with directing him in 9 feature films? Robert De Niro. Got it. 2-pointer for who's the boss. Sports. Mark takes it. Who plays the lead role of Daniel Rudy Rudiger?
Oh, it wouldn't be Beyond if we didn't have a typo.
It says who Harvard dreams of playing football at the University of Notre Dame. We're just gonna Harper's Dreams.
Yeah,
Maybe deductive reasoning,
You never seen-
critical thinking. No, I haven't seen Rudy. He plays football. People chant his name. He makes a touchdown at the end.
No.
Why would they chant his name then?
So you don't know the premise behind Rudy?
Well, wasn't he like a helper for the team, like a water boy type situation?
He always dreamed of playing football at Notre Dame, and he spent a lot of the movie is spent him like at junior college trying to get accepted, like going through junior college to get to Notre Dame, and he finally gets accepted to Notre Dame, which is a great scene. And then he walks on, and he's part of the practice squad, and like.
And that's when they cheer his name?
No, because and he had to deal with one of the head coaches. Like, all right, your senior year, I'll put you in on the field, or I'll dress you just so you can be out on, like, be a part of the team, really be during game day. And then the head coach switches, and they're like, yeah, no, you're not getting on the field, because he's like, why? You're a walk on, you're part of the practice squad. Why would I like?
What a dick. But
then all the players come behind because he's, he busts his ass throughout the entire movie just to be on the practice squad because he's not a talented football player. And then all the players who have come to love him, like, come into his office and they're like, well, if Rudy's not going to play, here's my uniform coach. Like, for Rudy, coach.
I'm getting a little chills.
Yeah. So he finally plays, and Notre Dame's up like 45-3 or some shit like that. And then, like, one of the players.
If you haven't seen Rudy, spoilers.
Sorry. But one of the players starts chanting Rudy, and then the whole entire stadium starts chanting Rudy because everybody knows Rudy's story.
Cute.
And so he gets put out there for the kickoff, and they put him back in for a play, and the final play of the game is the sack that Rudy makes. And then he gets carried off the field, and it's like, it's a great sports movie.
Cute. Good for him.
Yeah.
Always good to hear a story like that.
I probably really, really, really messed up the recap of that movie.
Well,
it's been years since I've watched Rudy.
You did better than me.
Yeah.
Thought he was a water boy who made a touchdown.
No, it's a very inspirational story.
Sean Astin. He is in Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Yes.
He was Gamgee.
Yes, what's his first name? Gamgee. You remember Gamgee, but you don't remember his first name?
Gamgee is not his first name.
No, it's his last name.
It starts with a G. Alliteration. No. Samwise.
Samwise Gamgee, who is Frodo's...
Potatoes.
Yes.
Mash him, boil him.
And he's Frodo's...
best friend. Lover.
By the end of the series, yeah. But he has a very specific job for Frodo. And for
ring holder.
No. In the Shire, he is Frodo's... There's a joke about it he's his gardener.
Really?
Yeah, because like they get captured by, I can't remember what his name is, but he's like, oh, is this your bodyguard? It's like, it's gardener.
That's cute. But they're also bros?
Yeah, they're best friends by the end of the... You go and drop the one ring into the...
You kind of bond a little bit?
Yeah, you kind of bond over a several years journey walking to Mount Doom.
I'm not sure what it would take for you to actually get me to watch those movies.
I love these movies so much.
They are... I could think of a lot better shit to do with 6 hours of my life for one movie.
4 hours. We can take it in chunks. Like, we'll make it like a series. Like, all right, we'll watch 1 hour, one week. Then, like, previously on Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Sounds less appetizing. Aww. I feel like it's almost like, let me just knock it out. Let me just get this shit done.
Man, you at least got to watch Fellowship. Fellowship's my favorite.
Oh, this tree. We're going to walk to the tree and it's going to talk to me. Oh, the tree walks too. Wow. Here's a ring. It's really
There's
heavy.
not as much.
Throw it into this volcano.
It is very exhibition heavy.
The volcano is named Sauron. Saruman. No? Does the volcano have a name? Does the volcano...
It's like Mount Doom, right?
That's a right at Universal. No, that's Dr. Doom.
At least she loves Star Wars. I was
going to say Mount Etna because that was the first thing that came to my head, but I'm like, nope, that's from Mustafar.
That's from the volcano that they shot for the volcano shot to Mustafar.
Boy.
Oh, we have so many notes that I'm gonna start disclosing.
Sean Astin got it.
Yeah.
Gamgee.
Samwise Gamgee.
Gamgee, not Gamgee.
Gamgee. Samwise Gamgee.
5-pointer for the ruling class. Got through that. Wrestlers in film. Diamond Dallas Page. Beef Baby. Right? That's Diamond Dallas Page, right?
Beef Baby.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No. Diamond Dallas Page is the wrestler?
Oh, I'm thinking of Lou Diamond Phillips.
Wow.
Diamond. I don't know.
Wow. Wow.
It's been a long week.
We're starting off strong.
Diamond Dallas. It's going to be a long couple of episodes, everybody. Diamond Dallas Page appears as Billy Ray Snapper, sick name, in what film directed by Rob Zombie? The Devil's Rejects. Got it. That's a scary movie, right?
I think so.
3-pointer for Who's the Boss? Happy Madison and Adam Sandler. Ben takes it. Of course.
Yeah.
Which Academy Award-winning actor plays himself in Jack and Jill, who Jack's agency wants to do a Dunkin' Donuts commercial for a new drink called a Dunkachino?
Got it.
Al Pacino.
Great ass.
Is that what the that movie that what that's from?
I don't know which one. I know that's a quote that Pacino says. You got your head all the way up it.
Dunkachino? Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
Smokachino. Got it. 5-pointer for Who's the Boss? All comes down to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Those bitches were everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
All over. Spectacular.
My goodness. Paul Newman featured in what 1990s comedy? Also featuring supporting roles from John Goodman, Steve Buscemi, and Bruce Campbell. It's funny because I'd never heard of this movie, but I remember that my previous boss at my previous hospital said that this was his favorite movie ever. And I was like, that sounds obscure as hell. So I quickly Googled it and then sent a question about it to a certain William Bibiani just for fun. I just thought it was very funny that this movie actually came up. The Hudsucker Proxy. Got it. So with that, 37-40 in favor of Who's the Boss?
Going out on top and with... Wait, no.
No, not
entirely yet. But,
not yet.
But it has the possibility, like at this point, it was the possibility that Ben could finish his career as the winningest competitor in Schmodown history. It all depended on the team's title, which we'll get to.
Right.
But this was like all the matches, fun, lighthearted.
Yeah. The most character work that we got.
Yeah, I think that's something we pointed out. Like out of all the matches that day, this is the one that had pretty much any character work at all. Because we had like a production meeting before. It's like, even before we was like, remember, it's like we're having fun. You don't have to stay in character. This is the last one. Don't worry about saying
either of us have characters.
Yeah, but like if you had a character, don't worry about it. Yeah, we're here to celebrate the Schmodown. Just compete, have fun, and if it's a title match, we're obviously work for it and try to win it if you wanted to, but don't worry about characters. This is not what we're here for. But this was the one match where like, every single, all 4 competitors plus both managers are all like overflowing with charisma and personality. So it felt right. Yeah, and this was a nice one to lead off with, especially with the characters, because then like by the time the post match interviews wrapped up, all character work was dropped. Everybody was talking seriously. Yeah. And that was a nice little like ease in from like, hey, if you're used to like the character work and everything in Schmodown, there's a nice one to ease your way into what the rest of the day was going to look like. Right. So I got to go back and rewatch those post-match interviews for this one. But yeah, I was really happy to see Mark Riley be able to come back because, I think it's fair to say he was the first singles champion, but like the Schmodown got to basically like start with him as one. I'm not saying he's the only one, but like one of the people that it started with, it also got to end with him. So that's pretty fun. Yeah, like I said, there's several people that weren't there. That's like, I really wish this person could have been there for one more time. Sure. But I'm glad we got to see Riley. And one thing I am glad that I finally got to give him that Luke Skywalker jacket that I've been telling him for like years. Like, hey, I have an extra jacket that doesn't fit me. Yeah. Do you want it? And I'm so glad it fit him. Yeah. Because it was one size up from one I usually wear. Yeah. And he was talking about it all night. Well, because it was so much fun. It has been a couple of years since you first mentioned it to him. And I think that he was kind of like, yeah, that'd be cool. Like, and he even said as such to us, after, when we were all at the bar afterward. I think it was kind of like initially he was like, yeah, oh, that's cool. That'd be great. Yeah. And never thinking that it would actually like happen. And he's like, I cannot believe that after, this many years of you telling me you're going to give me a jacket, that you actually followed through and brought me this jacket. It's sitting in our closet. I'm like, God, because I forgot that he was going to be there for celebration. And I was like, I really wanted to give you a celebration of all places. That'd be great. We forgot. Yeah. And we just forgot to pack it. Yeah. So not this time. I brought it. And like the second I saw him, like, I got something for you, my man. He's like, no way. No way. No, I was like, I hope it's a medium. I hope it fits you. He's like, I'm a medium. I hope it, pretty sure it will. And it fit him perfectly. Extra medium. I'm like, and it fit him perfectly. I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I've been wanting to give him this like birthday wedding present type of deal. And I told him, so like, consider it a wedding gift. Yeah. Or a birthday gift or whatever from me. Here you go. because he's like, you want me to pay for it? It's like, no, man,
No, of course not.
It's been sitting in my closet for years. Just take it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that
wonderful to see him and his fiance.
Yeah, his fiance. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, have they got married yet? No. But yeah, no, him and his fiance. It was wonderful to see Ben because he's also just such a huge name in the Schmodown. So being able to see, because we'd seen him live once before, I think.
He was at...
I mean, we saw him at the Orlando event.
Was he? No, he was not at the Orlando event. Remember, because he had back surgery. He wasn't able to travel.
Roxy? Oh, that was Chicago. So we saw him in Chicago.
We saw him at first time we met both of these guys was at Celebration Chicago when I debuted.
Yeah,
so,
it was when he got slapped on stage by Roxy.
Yes,
that was Chicago.
So we got to see him then.
Yeah. So super happy that we got to see him too. And then it was pretty cool that we got to meet Ty and Whitney for the first time because they're both delightful gentlemen. And Ty and I bonded a little bit.
Yeah, you got a glass of wine from them.
I did. I wish I had more. I wish I had many more.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I shine. But yeah, no, they're delightful. I'm really glad that we got to meet them. They're always they were always entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And they're both so incredibly knowledgeable. All four of these guys were incredibly knowledgeable. But this match was really fun to watch. It was fun. It was the first match that we got to sit back in that viewing room with everybody. That like it was like a movie theater style type room that we all got to sit in and watch all the matches if you weren't doing something else. But it was such a fun, lighthearted match to just
kick off
start the day.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'm happy for Who's the Boss.
Yeah, going out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, and then I think in the post match we get the reveal that Flirt and Floss is actually
oh my God, that's
Brett
right.
Sheridan. And it's like no way. But I think it was just Brett being like, oh, this, out of like the pandemic and two idiots in a room together, this
little bit of quarantine madness.
This character that everybody just like was drawn to was born, and like.
Yeah.
They did drag it out a bit at times, but
it got
old.
Beat pretty hard.
Yeah, it got old pretty quick, but then they brought it back I think in a fun way.
Yeah.
For the Schmodown. So yeah, I'm glad that Brett was able to and I think he's thankful. I was like, yeah, no, he forced me to not force him, but he pushed him in ways that he made him have fun with the character. So
and I think they found a way to. I feel like at one point, Flirt and Floss started wearing hats a lot.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming it's because they taped hair so that he wouldn't have to keep shaving his head. Yeah. I'm assuming this is what they did.
Yeah. Or they just took a piece of his hair and did a little tuft and then like kept it out.
Maybe. Yeah. Either way, but I'm glad that they were able to work that out for him too, because I don't think his wife was too keen on that hairstyle.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her. So, but and then super good to see Gucci again.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen him too. We were talking to him afterward at the bar about like a yearly Schmodown reunion.
Yeah. No trivia, just things that everybody thinks they can beat him in. He called it the Gucci Olympics.
So we'll see if that comes to fruition. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. It was a really good time.
Yeah, it was a nice little kickoff to the rest of the event and the rest of the day.
Yeah, because when I first heard Ruling Class, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that. I'm not mad at it at all. But I wasn't expecting it. But now I'm like, I don't know that I would have wanted it any other way because, the personalities were just spot on.
It's good.
So, and it wasn't like it was like a blown out match. Like it was close. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. And a nice send off for those four guys and their managers too. So, moving on to the next one.
Moving on over to
we are going to go to the Marisol and Rachel match.
Yes.
Let me a little scrolling. So, Marisol v. Rachel, a celebration of the ladies of the league. LOL, ladies of the league. And so we knew that there was going to be some kind of like an intro video.
Yes, because you were asked.
As soon as they like started announcing them to walk out, I was like,
"Where's the video?
Did they cancel the video?" No. But luckily, Marisol walked out with Shannon. Thank goodness. It wouldn't have been right without Shannon there.
Yeah.
And I love that Shannon was just Shannon.
Yeah.
Like as much as we love the Queen, we love Shannon even more.
Yeah. And
I love that woman.
That's what I said after the first match. There's no characters.
Yeah.
It was just everybody.
Yeah.
So
that was really nice to see that. And then Rachel came out for a hot second. I was like, because I don't know, maybe I didn't see their entrances or something, because I was like, oh, did Sam walk out with her? But I guess he didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rachel comes out, and I'm like, what happened to our intro? But then, Rachel's like, oh, okay, well, before we begin, I get, some words from some people that you may know. And then, wouldn't you know it, we get a little, hello greeting video from Miss Clark Wolf. None other than, the other half of Shire Wolves. Yeah. So that was really nice because, and she was busy making a movie or whatever. Good for her.
Couldn't be a spectacular. Jesus, Clark.
What's your excuse? Making a movie? Oh. I'm the asshole. So yeah, but luckily she taped a little video for all of us. We got to see some highlights and clips from past matches with her. And that was wonderful to see. Also, we need to talk about Nerd Chronic's promo that just
yes, that's right.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to see some past clips of her, and she was trying to sum up her feelings, and she was like, "Oh, I no one's gonna sum it up better than Gracie Lou Freebush," and so she goes, "Take it away, ladies," or whatever she said. And then we got Ladies of the Schmodown reciting a slightly modified version of the speech from Gracie Lou Freebush and Miss Congeniality. That was so much fun to make. Yeah, that was really fun to see. I went back and I watched it a couple times, and it made me all misty and teary-eyed. It was really nice. It was really well done. Marisol herself edited that, and I hope she enjoyed the video that I sent her, because it was brimming with bloopers. And also me at the end crying because I was just happy to meet her, and I wanted to tell her that one more time. I'm sure we'll cross paths again, but I was like, might as well take this opportunity. She's trapped watching my video. So, might as well say what my heart wants to say. But yeah, I love that intro. Super cute. So I'm glad that did make its way into, I would be shocked if it hadn't.
Yeah.
But we got ourselves a celebration of the ladies of the Schmodown, because, it's not a gendered sport.
Yes.
So, however, it is a raging sausage fest. So we're not you can't deny that.
Yeah.
So
the ratios are a little,
it's a little meaty.
Yeah.
Up in here. Round 1. Rachel missed a question about the Princess and the Frog. Marisol got a perfect round 1, and she got the bonus. 9-11 in favor of Marisol at the end of round 1. Round 2, Marisol spins away from Middle Earth. Probably a wise decision, considering who was across the desk from her. She gets fantasy sci-fi. Same vein, kind of. 1 2-point miss, but no steal. Rachel goes. She spins away from Pixar and gets movie release dates, which she was not exactly...
should have went with...
Happy with?
What was it? She spun away
Pixar.
from Pixar?
Well, she's not a huge fan of Pixar movies.
Yeah, but even then she's like, oh, should have took Pixar.
Yeah, I do regret this.
Yeah.
And so, she got movie release dates. She had a 2-point miss that did get stolen. And she went to multiple choice twice. Missed one, not stolen, and got the other multiple choice. Literally all I wrote here was 14-21. I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's the score. I assume that at the end of round 2, it's 14-21. I think. Round 3, 2-pointer for Rachel. Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Joel Schumacher directed Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger in what 1997? Just got a text from my mommy. I'll answer her in a moment. In what 1997 comic book film? Batman and Robin.
Nice to meet you.
Got it. 3-pointer for Rachel. For old time's sake, I should try to guess which one that is. Well, you already told me it's Ice to Meet You. Jim Carrey Riddler. Oh my God.
Ice to Meet You?
Yes.
Ice.
What is you saying? There's not more than one bad guy?
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
He's the only bad guy?
No, there's...
Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face.
No, that's Batman Forever. Two-Face and Riddler are Batman Forever.
Oh my God. Was there anybody else in this one as a bad guy?
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
Yes.
Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
All right.
And Bane. Dumb use of Bane.
Bane was in a movie before the other one where Bane
this is like a meathead Bane.
Did he have his...
He had his mask and this poison that made him stronger, but they made him a meathead, and it's like, oh, Bane, smash things.
Like it's Pokemon just said his name?
Yeah. Oh, he just like growls and grunts all the time, like, oh, I smashed the wall. It's like, dude, that's not Bane.
That's dumb. No, isn't Bane supposed to be like smart, intellectual, kind of? Yeah. Okay, well, way to fumble that ball, whoever directed Joel Schumacher. 3-pointer for Rachel. Dramas. Which Star Wars actress plays the female lead Mary Debenham?
I think that's right.
In 2017's Murder on the Orient Express, none other than Miss Ray Skywalker herself, Daisy Ridley. Got it. 5-pointer for Rachel. Oscars, which she was kind of like, oh, great. I'm like, Rachel, give yourself some credit. Ellen Burstyn won Best Actress for her portrayal of Alice Hyatt alongside Chris Christopherson and a young Jodie Foster. Love him. In what 1974 Scorsese dramedy? Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Got it. 2-pointer for Marisol. Martin Scorsese. What actor plays the lead role of Jesus in Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ?
The Green Goblin.
Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
Got it. 3-pointer for Marisol. Well, I'll give you one fucking guess. Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Rooney Mara, Jason Segel, and Jesse Clemens appear with Redford in what 2017 Netflix film about Dr. Thomas Harbour, who has definitive proof of the afterlife. The Discovering. She got it. So with that, 24-26 in favor of Lady Justice herself, Marisol McKee. Old guard against new guard, if you will. Mm-hmm. You know, what I gotta say, because I know that in the post-match interview, Rachel was like, she was initially reluctant. Mm-hmm. Christian had approached her multiple times to come back, and she was initially reluctant, but then she eventually realized that, it's not really... It doesn't really matter who wins. It's more about the celebration and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the recognition of...
It's bigger than just that match.
Yeah.
So I'm glad she came back. I was worried because I was like, man, when you're that far removed from the game for so long. However, even with... Because, I mean, the way she reacted to movie release dates, I can only imagine that even in her heyday, she probably wasn't a fan of that category.
Yeah, very few people are.
You wonder... if this match had happened back then, would it still have been a similar outcome, if it was still movie release dates? So, I wonder, was it ring rust, or was it just a bad spin, which happens to everybody at some point. Mm-hmm. So who knows? But all I know is that when you're that removed from the game, what did they say, 3 years?
Something like that, like 3 years, yeah.
Something like that. Take some balls to just waltz right back in.
Yeah, walking back into coming back to the game after 6 months is hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember last year between the tournament, the Star Wars tournament, and then your first match
against Gold
the next year against Gold, this year against Gold Leader. That was only a matter of a handful of months, but it felt like you were gone for a year.
Forever. I was like, I gotta get my mind back to game space.
Yeah, granted, studying for Star Wars is different. However,
the game's the same.
Yeah. I'm sure that she and Sam still watch copious amounts of movies. So, I'm sure because, she spun a category that she wasn't exactly excited about, but it was still, she still forced Marisol to her 3, at least. She was that close to getting her all the way to her 5. So, I'm glad that it didn't end in a total blowout. Yeah. Because I feel like that, and I'm sure Rachel wouldn't have cared, but it probably would have sucked. Yeah. But, I'm glad that Rachel agreed, because it was wonderful to see these two ladies get up there and see them compete in person.
Yeah, and I really did, like I said before, I really liked being able to see her play live. Yeah. Because Rachel was one of those competitors. If she was to jump into Star Wars, I think she would have been competitive.
Probably.
So it's she would have been that one competitor that wins in all 4 divisions. And I think she would have been able to do it.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I told her, and she's like, no, I'm not going anywhere near Star Wars. Come on.
And that was back a couple of years ago. That was before you guys fucked it up for the rest of us.
Yeah, that was because it was at the awards the year after my rookie year. Yeah. That's when I met her. It was before I got drafted to the exchange. I was like, I really think you could have made it in the Star Wars division. At least not dominated, but made it competitive and gotten a win.
Absolutely. So. I think so. But yeah, it was wonderful to see them compete, because not only are they both wonderful people and just beautiful inside and out, but yeah, because watching somebody like Rachel, who is a well-known introvert, and she's been well documented saying that she had to be basically pushed in front of the camera. And it was out of her comfort zone and all that kind of stuff, and she didn't think she could do it, didn't think she'd be good enough, blah blah blah. And then look at her, yeah. And then Marisol comes out, follows in those footsteps, So I think it was really cool, watching these ladies progress their entire careers, because coming from somebody else, I'm not sure that I would describe myself as a full introvert. I have I'm like an introverted extrovert.
Yeah, you have your situations where you don't want to.
I have my situations where I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But then I have other days where I'm like, yeah, let's party. So, I'm like somewhere, riding that in between line. Just, I can go either way, I guess. But when it comes to something like this, it's scary. It's vulnerable.
Yeah.
Getting up in front of people and risking looking like an idiot, because you missed something. And then somebody sitting on their couch eating hot Cheetos straight from the bag is like, how did they miss that question? What a dummy.
Right in the comment section.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really actually pretty vulnerable if you think about it, because, I don't care how good you are. I don't care what your accuracy is. I don't care what your record is. If you, like I've said a million times, if you stay in long enough, you're gonna hit a hard day. You're gonna have a hardened match at some point if you stay in long enough. And that thought is kind of scary. It kind of looms over everybody. Like, is today going to be that day that's just not my day?
Yeah, I don't want to make a fool of myself by missing easy questions and just like basically just hitting a wall like, oh.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I was like, hey, maybe I'll play one match, win it, and then just ride it off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Go out on a high note. But so yes, coming from somebody who felt similarly about like, well, I don't want to get out there because I'm nervous and I feel self-conscious, and what if I don't do well and I don't think I'm good enough? And I said all these things to Christian. Like, so I absolutely, I don't know if Marisol felt the same way about competing, but I know that Rachel did. So it's really inspirational to see, somebody like Rachel, both these ladies for that matter, get out there and do it. Because while it's not a gendered sport, like I said, it is a sausage fest. And for some reason, I don't know why, there usually is a discussion about like kind of compartmentalized female competitors.
Yeah.
For some reason. And it's like, why? It's weird how sometimes that becomes like, especially in an IG division or a Star Wars division, it kind of becomes like, yeah, well, she lost. Of course she lost. It becomes that kind of weird conversation, which is always uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, I don't want to name any names of female competitors in the IG division, but I feel like there was definitely a couple that probably felt that a lot. And that was one of the reasons that I felt so scared about going to the Star Wars division, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to get fucking flamed on the internet as soon as I miss a question. So, but that's what I think that this was a celebration of, was these two ladies getting out there and being like, who cares? Get out there and do it, because obviously we can, because, it doesn't matter if you're, what you happen to be.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how much weight you can lift or
exactly
what's between your legs. It matters.
Exactly.
You love movies.
This is a mental sport.
Yeah.
And, I can study just as hard as you can, and you can study just as hard as I can.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was special to see this match, and it was special to see that intro. I really, really enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah.
But these two ladies are incredible. Both legends of the game, absolutely, in their own respect. I mean, Rachel, first teams champion.
First female champion ever. One of, because like it was a teams. So,
and then IG.
Mara won it before she did, but
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, but Rachel is the only female double belted champion.
Yes.
To have two champions consecutively or at the same time.
Insane.
Yeah.
And she just has she has such a long, well integrated history in the Schmodown, and she means so much to the sport. And then you got Marisol, who arguably is part of the new guard, who also, even with less time,
she was
3 seasons
for
2, 3, no, not 2, 3
seasons. Yes.
Well, because seasons. I was a rookie last season and she wasn't.
She came in 1 year before you.
So 3 years that she was in it. Absolutely respectable amount of time. But even in the span of 3 years, as opposed to Rachel's however many, whenever she started.
Yeah. I think it's about the same amount of time.
The new guard, Marisol was able to blaze this trail for herself and be considered a legend in this game. And that's wild too. The fact that she was able to beat some huge names.
Oh, yeah.
In the singles division, she took the singles belt away from Ethan Irwin. Yeah. Like, and shocked. I remember that.
Yeah, and then defended it twice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I wish things had maybe shaken out differently, because she
She probably would have been able to get that belt back.
Under normal circumstances, she would have had a number one contender match. But, shit went down and plans got derailed. And that's just kind of, unfortunately, the nature of what happened. No doubt in my mind that she could have and would have gotten back there.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I'm glad she did at all. And that she did what she did with it. And she, they're both just these powerhouses of competitors, and I love to watch them, and I'm so glad that I've even met them. So yeah, this was a cool match.
Yeah, it was a great match there's so many matches I was glad that we were able to see them recorded and we were there for them. So
yeah,
and this was definitely one of those because I really wanted to see, we got to see Marisol play live last year.
Yeah.
But like one of those things, like I really want to see Rachel play.
Yeah, how crazy. We got to see Rachel and Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, we never got to see Sam play before this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, absolutely special match. I don't think you could have had, two better women on the desk representing the rest of us in the league. And they did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were there for it. Moving on to our next match, because I'm afraid that if we keep going on, I don't know how long we've been here already.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
let's
we have
go.
The team's title match.
Did you look up some stataroonies for us?
I have for Shazam, yes.
Okay.
So I have the
King Arthur,
page up right here.
King Arthur.
This is a newly formed team for King Arthur.
Newly formed team, not really that hard to remember their record.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They are 1-0.
Oh, you're talking about the new team.
The new team.
Not original. OG King Arthur.
Yeah.
Did you want to do stats now? Or
well,
later,
no. When we get into it, when we talk about legacies and all that nonsense.
Word. So. Okay, so we have the challengers. Weird to say that for this team, but we got Shazam, of course, representing the Quirky Mercs, represented by Coy John Drew, and it consists of William the Beast Bibiani and Brendan the Kid Meyer. Two of the coolest and just nicest and sweetest dudes you could ever hope to meet in your life.
Yeah.
And just two like terrors at trivia.
Yeah.
How scary would it be to face either of these two? No thanks. Yeah. Glad they never dipped their toes into Star Wars. They're going against King Arthur, kind of. So we all know that Griffey Noom's busy making movies or whatever. And Khan had to pick a new partner.
Yeah. And before we get to that, because they don't announce Khan's new partner until he enters.
Okay. So yes, I see what you're doing.
Because we don't want to forget this again.
No.
This is our last
Check
match.
it out. I know you can't see it from there, but I have Shazam entrance. Because we've done this before.
They have their last entrance, which in typical Bibiani Quirky Mercs fashion, we have a special entrance and they come out like, hey, and they knock the camera over and it's like, oh, technical difficulties, but we still hear Mark Ellis and Andrew Guy like, oh no, and this is what's happening.
It's the trained mice and the elephants stampeding.
Yeah, it's basically them killing everybody.
Chainsaws,
just like everybody like coming out and then killing all the Schmodown canonically killing all the Schmodown competitors. I am a clone of Andrew Dimalanta.
Yeah,
and I Sith mind myself to this new body.
Yeah,
because I was actually in the entrance.
Hard to tell a little, but you were there.
You can see when we come out from the curtain, you can see a slither on my face before the feed cuts, and then I'm on top, and I'm on like the bottom right hand side. I'm like laying on top of Greg Alba.
I'll have to go back and look at it again.
Yeah, but I'm like in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can hardly see my face, but I was wearing my Shazam shirt. And that's the only time you see me.
We know you were there.
I was there.
We know you were a part of it, and you are canonically Schmodown dead. But yeah, no, it was a really fun entrance. I actually did not get to watch it as it was happening. But granted, it probably was different watching it live than seeing it after the fact with the like graphic of technical difficulties.
Well, they did add it in the feed, in like one for the feed for the thing. But like you could see Bibiani like go for the camera. It's like, all right, so we're gonna cut here, and like there's a lot of stuff that happened that day where like everybody got to see in the thing. It's like, all right, so we're gonna cut here, and then we're gonna cut to this, and
how the sausage gets made.
Yeah, so
sausage party. But yeah. Lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a completely quintessential Bibs entrance.
Yeah, and they have like stuff like strewn all over the set.
Yeah, there was like streamers and I don't know if that was confetti or whatever, and then body parts. Yeah. So and chainsaws.
Yeah.
So and Bibbs and Brendan came out. I think they had their chainsaws. They threw a couple hands and feet onto the table next to them, and they stayed there the whole match. Yeah. So that was a fun.
It was interesting to see them clean it up afterwards.
I bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that they. I mean, I wouldn't have. Could you imagine if Bibbs was like, nah?
That would have been funny though. It was like, yeah, we don't have anything.
It would not have been funny. It was sad. Like, I'm so glad that he did something, and I think people really enjoyed it. I don't know. I didn't really like stay up with live chat, but I think I can only imagine people loved it because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So
it's a fun Shazam entrance.
Perfect Shazam entrance.
While we're at it, what do you think your favorite Shazam entrance is?
Oh God, I wish you hadn't asked me that.
I mean,
I didn't even remember that Who's the Boss played Shire Wolves. I can't tell you all their.
I think the Rock one was really funny from this one when they all were turned into rocks.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that one was fun.
That one
there's
fun.
a lot of them.
I didn't you like the one where they had like the note cards?
That one is my favorite. It was the playoff of Love Actually.
Yeah.
I think that's it's so simple, but it's so like if you didn't watch the movie, you really didn't know it. But they did say like this is a Love Actually reference. And like it's because if you never watched Love Actually, like it I don't know. I want to go into it, but like, yeah, I think that was my favorite.
I wish somebody.
It's so funny on understated. It was just
somebody out there. I wish they'd make like a super cut of all of the Shazam entrances, so that I can just see them all again. Yeah, you know, relive the memories and remind myself because I know that there's some that I'm like, oh right, I forgot about that. But yeah, so happy that they did it and wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes.
And then
Khan gets introduced.
Khan comes out.
Strapped on both shoulders.
The first and only double belted t-shirt. I thought that was a pretty funny comment. Yeah. But yeah, he comes out and it's like, yo, we got. Yeah. And I mean, we knew, but like next thing you know, you hear that one of my favorite entrance music.
I think he has the best theme music out of
theme music.
Anybody.
Love his theme music. All of a sudden you hear that like Hawaiian beat. Like, you know, I just wish I had a fucking coconut with an umbrella in it so I could just, you know.
So that's a Hawaiian drink.
Yeah. Well, you don't know. Maybe. I would if I was there. I've never been there. Maybe one day.
Been there twice.
Good for you. Maybe one day you'll take me.
Yes.
And I'll have a coconut drink.
Our 10-year anniversary, maybe we'll go, which is coming up very soon.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. We just had 8 years, right? Married.
Yeah. For a 10-year wedding anniversary, maybe we'll go to Hawaii.
2024. Yeah. It's coming up. Kind of.
Kind of.
Would you rather go to Hawaii or back to Korea? I'd rather go back to Korea. We'll discuss it. We got time. But yeah, you hear that Hawaiian, that island music coming on, and your boy, Paul Oyama.
With the jacket and the sunglasses.
Say clocks, primetime, Paul Oyama walking out. And I'm like.
Got Winston with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had Winston with him because Winston was like a stand-in manager for the two of them that day, right?
Yeah.
Love it. And they come out and they're like, hey, here you go. Here's who I picked.
Yeah.
And I think that it was at that point they announced their name.
Yes.
Was it King Arthur?
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
I remember they told us backstage before they did their match. I'm like, is that final?
I didn't know if it was a joke or not.
Yeah. It's like, is that the final thing or are you still taking suggestions?
I was like, okay.
Because yours is, I think it's better.
My suggestion, because King Arthur, and in the King Arthur, King was for Khan and Arthur was for Nooms. Get that Arthur out of here. Keep that King. You get the King.
Dracula.
You put the King here, and then you got Paul Oyama, well known that he lives in Hawaii. Got a very Hawaii-esque theme song. Kahuna, King Kahuna. I thought that was a cute name. That's what I would have suggested, but I think they'd already settled on Tokyo Drift. Fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool. I thought mine was cute, but Tokyo Drift's fun too. You know? So.
Skirt.
did somebody
I think Andrew Guy kept doing that to the match. Like, skirt.
He's perfect on the desk.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, round 1. And here we go. We're starting off with all 5 rounders.
5-rounder.
Round 1. Bibbs missed a question about Ethan Suppley. Khan and Brendan missed a question about Basket Case. Oyama got a perfect round. And got the bonus. 18-20 now in favor of King Arthur, Tokyo Drift. Round 2. Shazam spins away from Charlize Theron. gets the Wachowskis, directors, I can only imagine. Sorry, babes. They got a perfect round 2. King Arthur, because that's not actors.
Yeah.
King Arthur, Tokyo Drift, spins away from Stanley Tucci and gets coming of age. They get a perfect round 2.
Woo.
Gap stays the same at 28-30 in favor of King Arthur. Round 3, King Arthur spins the Wachowskis again. They decide to stick with it, even though, Shazam just knocked them out of the park. Yeah. They decide to stick with it. Both teams bet 3. No surprise that both teams got it right.
Yeah.
Gap remains the same at 31-33 in favor of King Arthur. Round 4, we got ourselves a 5-round speed round. Sorry, 5-question speed round. Bibbs got 1. Khan got 1. Brendan got 2. And Oyama missed 1. So we got ourselves a little bit of a role reversal here. Now we got 33-34 and now in favor of Shazam.
I like Brendan, the one that he gets the lead on, just like slams the button. Because I was sitting in the audience for this. I'm like, dude, you're gonna break the buttons. We
need them for other matches.
We got 3 other title matches, my dude. You gotta calm down. One of them, we need all 4 of those buttons.
I gotta go back and rewatch that.
Yeah.
Round 5, 2-pointer for King Arthur. Sly and Arnie, Khan takes it. In what film in the Terminator franchise, featuring Linda Hamilton, is Arnold's T-800 known simply by the name of Carl? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Terminator Dark Fate. Got it. 2-pointer for Shazam. Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Brendan takes
all over.
I got auto-corrected to tournament plays a character. Now, is tournament Paul Newman or Robert Redford? Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Paul Newman. I'm going to assume it was supposed to be Paul Newman. I don't know. Paul Newman plays a character of John Rooney opposite Tom Hanks.
What was that? Mama?
Plays a character of John Rooney opposite Tom Hanks in what 2000s gangster film also featuring Daniel Craig? Road to Perdition. Got it. 3-pointer for King Arthur. Oyama's taking this one, of course. Fantasy sci-fi. Michael Clark Duncan plays Colonel Attar, a former associate of Tim Roth's General Thade, in what 2000 sci-fi film from director Tim Burton? Planet of the Apes. He got it. 3-pointer for Shazam. Bibbs takes this one, of course. Comedy. But not in a 5-rounder round 5. Jane Curtin co-stars as Primat, the wife of Dan Aykroyd's Beldar, in what film based on a Saturday Night Live sketch? Coneheads.
Coneheads.
He got it. I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but that seems like it's right up his alley.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that was like...
Yeah, that's kind of Bibbs.
Bibbs got that question.
Yeah.
Okay, down to the 5ers. 5-pointer for King Arthur. Disney. What 2007 live-action Disney film based on a book features performances from Zooey Deschanel, Anna Sophia Robb, and Robert Patrick? They seem to be very pleased with and quick to answer Bridge to Terabithia. And they got it. 5-pointer for Shazam.
Comes down to this.
Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. Did you know that Robert Rodriguez directed a fucking Mandalorian episode?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to study the TV shows, guys. Calm down. Lady Gaga appears as a sympathetic waitress named Bertha in what Robert Rodriguez film that also features Alexa Vega and Jessica Alba. So odd because they answered it like they were, I don't want to say super confident, but it wasn't like a kind of answer.
Like, I think they might have gotten some kind of something.
Maybe you got a wire cross somewhere. Yeah. I don't know, but it wasn't like a, I don't know, this.
Yeah.
So it was odd because they wagered their answer and it was incorrect. It was Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Yeah, I think they just got something mixed up with another movie that Tarantino. Yeah. So.
And they did unfortunately miss it. And with that, 39-43 in favor of King Arthur, Tokyo Drift. I guess this is considered a defense for Khan,
but
and
a title win
for Oyama. So Oyama gets in right under the buzzer and gets himself a team's belt.
Finally gets him the team's belt that he was chasing all last season.
Yeah. So. And God, it's just such a shame because it's like, God, what would have been? Not that it's like, oh, news is old news, but we got this team up and it's like, what could they have done?
Yeah.
I mean, look what Khan and Nooms did. My God, what could what could Oyama and Khan have done? Yeah. So, that's the bittersweet part about all this ending. We get this brand new team that did fantastic together. And
I have to mention it's the first all Asian team champions.
Yeah.
So that was fun to be there for it. So,
yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because like everybody, because, first Asian Star Wars champion, Paul was was it Ethan or was it Ethan first or Paul first? I think it was Paul.
Singles?
For singles.
Wrong person to ask.
I think it was Paul first. Or was it Ethan first? But yeah, Paul was another Asian champion. Mara and Chandru, Asian IG champions. So all divisions are covered. Every division has had an Asian champion. So yeah.
I don't feel like people have talked about it much, but I think that they should because I think it's cool.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
That was fun to see. It's like, I was rooting for my guys. I would love to see Shazam put the nail on the head. Like if you were wanting to know who, like the debate is no debate. Shazam would be the greatest team of all time. Like undoubtedly, if they would have won this match, I was totally rooting for them.
Yeah.
But
just because they lost doesn't mean that conversation's done.
Yeah.
It just means that it would have been like, how are you going to refute that?
Yeah. But I am glad to see these guys win and represent. So yeah.
Yeah, because you're like you said, obviously Shazam are our guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if they were going to lose, this is a great team for it to be too. Yeah. Because I will say it until I'm blue in the face. William Bibiani is an angel of a human being, and so is Brendan Meyer for that matter. They are two of the kindest souls ever, and Paul and Khan, we hung out with Paul a couple more times than we've gotten to see Khan, unfortunately. Yeah. But also two incredibly cool dudes. So
just hanging out with Paul afterwards, just talking about like
he's so easy to talk to.
So easy to talk to. He's telling us stories about Brendan and like getting to the airport. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Didn't realize you guys were that close.
No. Oyama he's a baller.
It was so much fun to get to hang out with these people. It's just to get to know all these people that day, just getting to know people that we've never met before.
Yeah.
And reconnecting with people that we've been friends through the Schmodown for years.
Yeah.
So it's like, if Shazam was gonna lose, I'm glad it was to this combination.
Yeah.
So,
but Shazam, I don't know if you have their stats up, if you want to.
We'll touch on that, but I want to talk about first on this side because like Paul, like I said, just snuck in.
Oh yeah.
Like the last second because it's like he had the singles title and was able to defend it. Then he's like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll focus more on teams, try to get team style. Very last second, he finally gets that accolade on his resume.
Yeah.
Sure, is it come with like a tiny bit of an asterisk? Sure, but he performed in this match. He missed one question. He missed one question this entire match.
He sure did.
So, and it was in the speed round. Missing the speed round is
very easy.
It's very easy to miss in the speed round. It's far more forgivable to miss in the speed because you're just on edge trying to get.
And your brain's a little fucked just because it's a speed round.
Yeah, and what I don't know if it was this match or somebody else's that they answered and they didn't have all the information and I think it might have been in the singles match, but they buzzed in. And they went for it, and it didn't go their way because they didn't have the rest of the information.
Oh, is that the one that he missed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that, but that's the risk of the speed round. So that's what I'm saying. When you miss in the speed, especially buzzers, if you miss in the buzzer round, it's like, because I didn't get because like I'm one of those competitors, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow in Wednesday's episode of like I like to have all the information before I commit an answer. So
you want enough information to be like, no, I'm sure of this.
Yes, I'm 100% sure this is the answer. And that's what terrifies me about the buzzer round. Because if I do that, the window's open for the points not to be there for me. Yeah. So, so missing the speed round is far more forgivable. But like, he came to like out of all the competitors there that day, like it was very hard to prepare for these matches. Just get your mind in that state. He was one of the players that was there to win. Yeah. Like. If this is an opportunity that will never that like just fell into my lap, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it and try to get that accolade that he was chasing all last year. Yeah. So
and this is also I think probably a great testament to because Paul obviously a huge name in this game, a well decorated player, especially now. Khan, I feel like this is an extra bit of. I don't know if it's this match or somebody else's that they answered and they didn't have all the information. And you want enough information to be like, no, I'm sure of this. Yeah. So you miss in the speed round, it's like, an accolade for Khan specifically because he won the belt with Nooms off of Shazam.
Yeah.
Which greatest team of all time.
Yeah.
You know, I know depending on who you talk to, but you know, that's no easy feat.
Yeah.
So not only did Khan win the belt off of Shazam with Nooms, he then had to turn around and try to defend against Shazam with a totally different partner.
Yeah.
At first time they were playing together.
Yeah.
At least he and Nooms had an entire tournament.
Yeah. And
to get to know each
rapport.
other.
Yeah. Like chemistry. And like, so they had like, no doubts. Yeah. We work well together. This is like, well, I'm gambling on like, granted it's Paul Oyama. You're
not really gambling that much when it's Paul Oyama or somebody like that.
Yeah, but still, it's like
you still are.
Team chemistry is a total thing in the division. So it's like
because
you're
now it's
really
who's going to answer the 2? Who's going to answer the 3? Do I trust you in the speed round? You know, that kind of. Do I trust you on to check down a multiple choice if I need you to? Blah blah blah. There's all sorts of little tiny details that that sometimes you don't consider.
Yeah,
it's not always just we're just going to straight answer questions like round 1 the whole time. Well, there's strategy to other rounds in a 5-round match. So I do think that that's an extra feather in Khan's cap. The fact that the 2 title matches he had to stare down William Bibiani and Brendan Meyer and came out victorious with 2 different partners.
Yeah.
So I think that's really huge for him. And I think that that's really cool for him. And Oyama, he was paired up with Lon. And not that they didn't do well. They did really well. They just always
it just escaped them. Yeah.
There. Couldn't quite get there,
and
unfortunately.
And then Oyama gets paired up with Adam Collins, and they do really well. And it's like, well,
and who knows? Had they had more opportunities, maybe they could have made it there. But with the way things shook out, Paul gets this golden opportunity. Willy Wonka golden fucking ticket given to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna cash that in. Bet your ass I'm going to."
Yeah.
And boy, did he! So, it's and it's also. Because I feel like at one point somebody was throwing out like a name like a JTE or a Paul Preston to be his partner because like maybe bridge that age gap, But Khan and Oyama are both younger dudes.
Yeah, and they excel in the older movies too.
Honestly, not sure how old Khan is, and I'm not sure exactly how old Oyama is. I just know that Oyama's younger
Oyama's
than
like
us. 26.
He's 20. Yeah, mid 20s.
Could be wrong. I don't know. I just know that he's definitely younger than us by a handful of years. Khan, not sure, but I also do believe he's definitely younger than us. So young dudes, how do you have that much knowledge in your head and you're like 20 something? That's wild to me. How do you watch that many movies?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
You're just, you love movies. You love watching it and you love everything about movies.
When your brain's wired for it, you're wired for it.
Yeah.
And luckily, we were all able to find this space where you can just throw up all these words and terms and be clapped at for it. So, wow, yeah.
Robert Redford.
And Paul Newman. Yeah, no, I think it's wild that they're both so young. And this was the first time they played together. And they were able to do it against one of, if not the toughest team to ever do it in Shazam. Shazam, my heart breaks for them.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not happy for Khan and Oyama because I love both those dudes.
Yeah.
But Shazam, like, to be down round 1, 2, 3. And then, oh my God, a reversal in round 4.
Yeah. And it came down to the 5.
Coming down to a 5.
Yeah. And like, I am on record saying that I think they are the best team in Schmodown history. It's like, would have been great to like put the nail in the coffin. Like, have the belts at the very end, but like their record is 14-4, 2 knockouts, two technical knockouts, 2 total knockouts. So four knockouts total. And they've lost, and all their losses, I believe, are in title matches.
Wow.
They lost to the Odd Couple. They lost to...
Is that 4 losses including this one?
4 losses including this one.
So that means 1 is from Odd Couple, 1 is from King Arthur, and 1 is from King Arthur Tokyo Drift. I don't know who the other one is.
I think the other one is to...
Not Corruption.
No. It's to Founding Fathers. Because they played them at Shazam. They played them... That was the only time... I think it's the only defense that Roka has to his record. Is against Shazam at Spectacular.
Okay.
So their 4 losses are at are in title matches in big moments.
Yeah.
So it's like they never won, and I don't think they ever lost a regular season match. And their only losses they have are in big matches. 5-rounders. 5-rounders
Right.
are vastly different than 3-rounders,
Which
especially in teams.
hurts for sure.
Yeah.
But also incredible that they can make their way to play. As there are some people that never played in a championship match.
Yeah.
The fact that they were, I mean, I feel like this is a really shitty thing to like say is a good thing, but like the fact that they have 4 losses and you can say that all 4 were title matches, and that's not even including, that number's not even including the ones that they won.
Yeah.
Some people haven't even sniffed at 1 title match. Like, and the fact that they've only lost, their only losses were all title matches just goes to show how insane they were as a team that they were able to make it to that many title matches.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Shazam, they were an incredibly special team.
That's the thing that I think I would describe them. They were just very special team like that.
Anarchy, right? A result of anarchy. No?
No, they
No?
no, they were
Oh, okay.
I think it was
couldn't hear
the
my
year,
microphone for a second.
it was the year after Anarchy, I believe.
Oh, why did I think they were put together in anarchy?
I don't think so. I don't think they were. No, they weren't. But yeah, this is a very special team. When you think special teams, it was like Shire Wolves, obviously Shazam, Founding Fathers was a special team. Just like teams like that don't come around, that like
The Wild Berries.
like yeah, but like special in the fact that like it felt right for them to be together,
Right.
and it was just it was one of those things where Harloff would be like, I think these two would be good together, and it was magic.
And it's like, I don't think that I don't think if you had your pick of every other person in the Schmodown, I don't think you could have ever picked a more perfect person.
Oh yeah, just the personalities lined up so well, and that they went so far, and I think they embodied the Quirky Mark like attitude of win or learn.
Right.
So that I think that's what like the whole combination of like Bibiani, Brendan Meyer, and Coy.
Yeah.
That combination
Magic.
was just magic. And like I don't think you can ever replace if you were like, hey, let's break up Shazam and put somebody else, like, all right, then I guess I'm not playing in the teams division. And I think I remember talking to Bibiani, and I think Brendan for that matter, and for Coy, it's like if you're to break this team up, they're not, Bibiani and Meyer aren't playing the teams division, because I don't think they wanted to play with anybody else.
And at that point, I wouldn't have wanted them to.
No, because like this was a team that like it made sense for them to do together, and every time they played, it was amazing to see.
Yeah.
So,
and they're both together and separately 2 tremendously gigantic names.
Yeah.
Legends. That goes without saying. I think for sure. Like Bibiani, I mean, dude's been singles and teams. Brendan, teams. How he always came so close in singles.
Yeah, the singles was like a thorn in his side.
Right. Yeah. But the amount of success that these 2 had together in the teams division was just astounding.
Yes, yeah.
And it was a pleasure to see them play live together. But yeah, I mean, this was, I think a lot of people, especially people not knowing who Khan was going to partner up with. I think a lot of people were giving this to Shazam, and with great reason.
Yeah.
But to see Oyama get picked, and then to see what an incredibly edge of your seat match this was. I mean, we knew what happened, and even seeing that reversal in the speedrun, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I saw it live and then rewatched. I'm like, oh God, I forgot that's what happened. Whoa.
Just like the match with Shazam and Corruption, we knew what was going to happen. We were like, wait a minute. I didn't know it happened like that.
Yeah.
Like I knew it happened not like that. But yeah, this was, I don't know that Khan could have picked a better partner. If you can't have Nooms, I don't think he could have done better.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you were to pick a partner to replace Nooms, Oyama, you can't go wrong with Oyama.
Not at all.
No.
And another dude dripping with charisma. So, he doesn't even have to be in character. I just think he's got enough of that drip naturally. So, I mean, swag, drip, I guess. That makes sense. But, and yeah, it was a pleasure to see Winston there with them on that.
Yeah, and that was another one. It's like, I'm glad Winston was able to at least be there for the match.
Yeah.
So
I do like that he was like, oh, all this time I spent trying to get him to a belt, and then I don't do anything and he gets that belt. It's like, no, you did plenty. You did all the stuff you did all the stuff that led him down this road to eventually get here. So yes, Winston did have a hand in this. It was a bit more passive than he thought it would be.
And I think we'll have a discussion on our next episode about managers and what they actually do for you. Because like I have a lot to say about management.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say. And because like it was like, oh, how much can managers do for you anyways? Like there's actually a lot.
If you get the right matchup.
If you get the right matchup and like the person knows how much it means to you, they'll do anything. Like it's not just like, hey, studying. Oh, hey, don't forget about this. There's so much more that goes to it. So to say that Winston didn't do anything for Oyama is
hogwash.
It's hogwash.
Yeah, no. He doesn't think he did, but he did everything that led him to this point.
Just the fact of being there for the match is sometimes enough. To get you the win. Yeah. So
this was a hell of a match.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Really, really happy for Khan and Oyama. Heartbroken for Shazam, but also still blown away by everything that they did accomplish. Yeah. And I know that everyone's like, oh, well, what does it do to their legacy? Fucking nothing. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't harm anything. It just means that they don't get that one more win on their record. Yeah. It doesn't do anything to change what happened in the past. So whenever people start talking about like, oh, well, what about their legacy? What's their legacy going to be after this?
They won a lot.
Their legacy is going to be the same. Just they don't have that one more win on their record. Yeah. Like, that's like some of the conversations after matches exhaust me sometimes. But that's why I don't engage in them with other people. But yeah, no, it's not going to hurt their legacy. It doesn't tarnish their legacy. It doesn't do anything to harm it. You can't change what they've done. Yeah. This match didn't change anything. Did this match unwin any of their wins? No. Did this match undefend any of their defenses? No. They're still Shazam. Yeah. And they still accomplish everything they did. They just happened to get a 5-pointer that just crossed up their wires a bit, I think. Which is odd. Like I wondered if they had any more JTEs left.
I think I think something in I didn't talk to them about because like after
who needs to dwell on it.
Yeah, like after I think that was something that I'm glad didn't happen. For like conversations after the taping, and it wasn't so much of like, oh, what were you thinking during this minute? It was just like us hanging out with each other. That's but like something in the information of the question was like, oh yeah, it's this movie, but then it's like, oh no, it was this one. Yeah, it was just one of those moments where like you hear the question, you think it's this, like, yeah, that sounds right, go with it,
which happens to everybody, where your brain just kind of and there are sometimes you hear a question, and I remember you talking about this at one point. Sometimes you hear a question, and especially if it might be a little longer, a little on the longer side of a question. Yeah, I remember you telling me like, oh, try not to think of anything until you've heard the whole question, because there are some times that you can get half through a question and you think they're going this way, and then you hear the rest of the question and it goes this way. But if your brain's already over here, it's going to be hard to correct to get back over here.
Because then you have 5, 4. It's like, oh, shit.
And if your brain was already chasing a different answer, it's hard to reverse that, So, I don't know if that's what happened.
Yeah, I didn't have a conversation with him because I didn't want to have a conversation. It's like, what is it going to do? Like, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's good to talk about it, but I didn't want.
It also depends on if they want to.
Yeah.
You know? Even if you win a match, you still sometimes don't want to talk about something you missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on who the person is.
Yeah. But like we mentioned early on their show, with this loss on Bibiani's record, Ben Bateman is now the all-time winningest player in Schmodown history.
The most wins.
And
biggest whiteboard.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's good for Ben gets that record, and I do like that Bibiani's comeback. It's like, oh, I got more belts than him. It's like, ooh, well, I mean, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You know, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. But yeah, so there's that's the one thing about the Schmodown is like records get to be records now. Yeah. So yeah, and that's one record that Ben gets to have, and so
why not?
Why not?
Why not? Because I mean, Ben is very accomplished player in this league, so I'm sure he's okay with not having that. Yeah, it would have been nice, little cherry on top, but oh well.
Yeah, it would have been nice to the 3-time team champion, winningest player of all time, but he's the second winningest player of all time, so yeah, you got that.
Absolutely, that's a tough place to get to.
Yeah, when you play enough.
Yeah, absolutely, but. There's still, 3 whole ass matches to talk about?
Yes, there's 3. We have 3 more matches. So the next episode of Beyond the Schmodown, we will be going over the Star Wars title match between Andrew the Hunter Dimalanta, who dat, and Nicki Dimalanta, the Dimalanta Civil War for the Star Wars title.
Yeah.
Even though I already spoiled it at the beginning of the episode.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, but
Unreal.
yeah, we'll be talking about
Hope
this
you've
match
seen it.
in length. So if there's, I will say, if there's one episode of our show that you want to tune into,
I'd like to think it'd be this one.
it's going to be this one, because not only are we going to be talking about the match, we're going to be divulging like study tactics and things that have happened through our careers in the
Maybe
Schmodown.
some things that we wish we would have been asked.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, and all that stuff. So you're definitely going to want to tune into the next episode, because we're going to be talking about this match and our Schmodown careers in length.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Come
join us.
check
for that
it
one.
out, guys.
it'll probably be just as long as this one, just talking about one match. Well, maybe more than one match.
So if you don't like Star Wars, I got bad news for you.
That's all you're gonna get in this next episode is the Star Wars division and the Star Wars title match.
Yeah.
So tune in for that one. So
Absolutely.
let's go ahead and wrap this episode up before we start joining on too long, because it's an extra long episode. I'm sure all of them will be.
Probably.
Yeah. But
What if the one for our match is the longest one? Wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go around 2 hours talking about. I would not be surprised.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens with that. So, Star Wars competitor Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Rogue Leader Drew. 10,000 is lurking there. I'm just like itching. I'm at like 9,648.
That's very specific.
Like, I'm like 9650. Last time I looked, I can't remember. Let me look.
I'm already here.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to beat you to it.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh.
9,654.
Ooh, I went up a couple since the last time I looked. But yeah, give me to 10,000. I'm like I said before, I'll be divulging my notes on TikTok.
Yeah.
Just
Little by little.
Crazy things that I have in my notes.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it on everywhere. I'm putting it on my Instagram, putting it on my TikTok page. So go and follow me there. Don't follow me on Twitter anymore. I don't do anything. I might do stuff on Twitter just to promote shows, but I don't do anything on Twitter anymore. Like hardly anything. So, I mean, you could, Drew Dimalanta. If you're listening to us on audio form, please follow the feed and rate us.
And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon in the lower right-hand corner, see when we do things on the YouTube.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmodown. See you guys next time.